Welcome back to Nikolai. This comic corner, classic known classics. This episode number 2287 and Doubleshot number 2181. Now, these two trades here, fairly recent ones, but they both feature the stars of these books are in fact creations of Stan Lee. First up, we have is Ant-Man, Ant-Iversary. This collects the entire, I believe this is the third volume for Ant-Man, by Al Ewing, which they include also material from Tales of 137 and 43. There's a reason why. Now, each of these issues focus on different Ant-Man. Hank Pym, Eric O'Grady, who was the third Ant-Man, Scott Lang, and this other guy. Yeah, who this guy is. They don't really ID who this guy is. Let's see if I don't think it's let me take a look here. He's from the year of 2549. Yeah, and then we have basically the final appearance of 4 characters. The antagonist. Yeah, basically these guys are just, well, 4 Ant-Man villains. They decided to have team for this one story. Yeah, so we had the Window Washer, Trago, Time Master, and the Protector. Which, of course, 2 of these characters, they do explain where they came from. Yeah, and that's who they face off against the first story. And by the way, all 4 of these characters, they're never seen again after this. It's mostly a flashback story. It's basically a bit of time travel. So here we are. We have these Ant group. We have Hank Pym with Janet at the movies, and he's taken by these guys. And here they are, the antagonist. Yep. So apparently recognized him. We don't remember the air tube, but he has fallen. But basically a group of guys who you basically defeated previously. Tales 37, 47, which they include the 47 one. Apparently the guy was basically like, well, Trago was apparently his memories were lost. So these guys are just basically assembled to do one thing. Revenge Ant-Man. So he ends up getting aged up, and then basically he beats him up. And then he meets up with the other Ant-Man, times the future. And then we have Eric O'Grady's story. Yes, and Eric O'Grady's story, the irredeemable Ant-Man. And apparently they have it where Scott Lang looked like this. Yes. I'm like, that's not what his helmet looked like. So, yeah, this is the story set during his time. The stuff here with the scrolls. So basically, in the case of the first one that's set during '60s, this is set kind of prior to taking phase because they have where Hank Pym pops up in the story, and it's actually the scroll Hank Pym. Yeah, and apparently there's nothing about teleporter. This I think you have seen before. Then we have where the electric ant. I'm not sure what he's called this first, but I think he's the black ant. Yes, this is the Eric O'Grady robot in issue 3. Yeah, I don't know the reason why they call him the electric ant. This fact here, he's called. This fact he's called the black ant. Here he's called the electric ant for some reason. I don't know why, because he's evil. Of course, they mentioned what happened in Iron Man 2020 here. So this is presumably set not like after Iron Man 2020. It's basically just. Well, just Scott Lang do whatever, and of course fighting Black Ant, Ultron. It's just really fun stuff here. And of course, you think issue 4 explains backstory? Not really. Kind of, actually. So, he summons 4 Ant-Man together, and that's it for the story. Well, they save the world. And then we have the stories where Protector comes from, basically a Protector, which basically I mentioned here. And of course, the story where he got aged up, issue 43. Done by a guy called the Time Master. Interesting though, they included those 2 in here. Probably they did that because I'm sure people may have not get a chance to read the Ant-Man collection, but they were included there because, well, I'm sure people are like, okay, we're familiar with Hank Pym, but who the heck is Protector? So they threw the story here as bonus. Good to Marvel's part. This miniseries is fantastic. I love it, and we get followed with the Wasp. And the thing is, the only reason that Marvel did this, 60 years of Ant-Man. I give this book a 10 out of 10. This book's awesome. Love it. Next up we have is Captain America, Symbol of Truth, the Sam Wilson book. This is Pack, Volume 2, Pax Mohannda. This collection issues Captain America, Symbol of Truth, 6 to 11. Yeah, here's the thing about this book that I mentioned before. For some reason, the number from this book counts for the Legacy numbering, not the Steve Rogers book. And you're thinking, what? Really? Yeah, really. The writing here is done by... it is done by Toshi Obachi. IG graded 628, 911 is by R.B. Silva. The cover art is done by R.B. Silva for most of all this. He pretty much does all the covers. He does it with Jesus, I remember who's the color artist. For all the covers, except issue 10, he does it with Federico Blee. Most of these issues, we just basically just deal with a lot of build up to a future crossover. So we have Sam doing stuff with the UN. We also have his partner Falcon, his second partner, who's wearing a variant of his old costume. And at one point gets mutated to a vampire, fights up against White Wolf, who's in Black Panther comics. Some minor political stuff. He meets up here with Ian Rogers, Steve Rogers' adopted son. Yep. And it's a really interesting story. And then, of course, they mention the story after the whole ordeal is over with the story with the whole saving refugees and a dictator. Of course, Ian does bring up the fact, well, it's the first time I've been with you and I didn't have my throat slit. Yeah, because the throat got slit during the only Captain America series, which was only 5 issues. So, yeah. It is interesting that they brought back Ian Rogers for this story, because here's the thing, the last that Ian Rogers was seen was in the Hell Hydra miniseries for Secret Wars. And you're thinking, really? Yes, really. Yeah, and here's the thing about this guy. This is Nomad. Now, yeah, he is a creation of Rick Remender, but it is weird, though, the fact that after the Hell Hydra miniseries wrapped up, he was not seen again. Like, after all this. Like, here's the thing. The final issue of Hell Hydra came out in 2015. Well, November 2015, because it was delayed because Secret Wars was delayed. And then he's not seen again until issue 7 of this very book. 6 years later. Yes, 6 years later. Why the heck they basically waited 6 years to bring back the character? Don't know. It is one of the most baffling things. But I do enjoy this book for what it is. And, well, next up is Cold War. Yep. Basically, you have a little bit of Cold War. And there's a plot thread of basically Joaquin, who is the Falcon in this book. He is basically infected, but he doesn't get cured until the end of the storyline, until basically the end of Cold War. As for White Wolf, whose real name was Hunter, prior to this very story, prior to appearing in this very series, his last appearance, well, if you don't count Black Panther Legends and Rise of Black Panther, this is the first time he's been seen since Black Panther, The Most Dangerous Man Alive, released back in 2011. Because Rise of Black Panther and, well, actually he did appear in Empire Avengers. It was probably just a small cameo. Yeah, but you could say there's more prop appearance now. Of course, let's see. Oh, yeah, he did appear in Captain America 0. Probably as a lead-in, per se. But I'm counting basically The Most Dangerous Man Alive more prop appearance because Mostly cameos and flashbacks, but that's it for that one. I'm going to give basically Captain America Civil War Truth Volume 2 a 9 out of 10. Okay, so that's it. Stick with you with one more comic corner, and then basically I rest my voice and work on something else. Okay, work on Doctor. Okay, next video. Bye.